The vast expanse of space had never seemed so threatening. Earth, a small blue marble floating in the cosmic ocean, faced its greatest challenge yet. The Galactic Council, a federation of advanced alien races, had set its sights on this seemingly insignificant planet. High above Earth's atmosphere, a massive fleet of sleek, silver spacecraft hovered ominously. Inside the lead ship, Zor Thal, the supreme commander of the Galactic Council's forces, gazed down at the planet with a mixture of contempt and anticipation. Such a primitive world, Zor Thal sneered, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence. They won't even know what hit them. His second-in-command, Vex Nar, nodded in agreement. Our intelligence suggests they have barely mastered space travel. This should be an easy conquest, Supreme Commander. Zor Thal's mouth tentacles twitched in what passed for a smile among his species. Send the ultimatum. Give them 1 Earth rotation to surrender. If they refuse, well, they'll learn the hard way. Down on Earth, in the United Nations headquarters in New York, chaos erupted as the alien message was received. World leaders, hastily assembled via video conference, watched in stunned silence as the holographic image of Zor Thal delivered his chilling ultimatum. People of Earth, the alien commander's voice boomed, translated into every human language simultaneously. Your planet now belongs to the Galactic Council. Surrender peacefully, and you may serve as our subjects. Resist and face annihilation. You have 24 of your Earth hours to decide. As the message ended, the room exploded into a cacophony of voices. Fear, anger, and disbelief mingled in the air. We can't possibly fight them, cried the French president. Look at their technology. We'd be decimated. But we can't just give up our world without a fight, argued the Nigerian representative. What kind of life would we have as their slaves? In the midst of the arguing, a quiet voice cut through the noise. It belonged to Dr. Samantha Chen, Earth's leading expert in theoretical physics and head of a secret global defense project. We fight, she said simply. All eyes turned to her. Dr. Chen, the UN Secretary General, said, "You can't be serious. You've seen their capabilities. What chance do we have?" Samantha's eyes gleamed with determination. More than they think. For the past decade, we've been working on something. Something that could change everything. As Samantha explained the top-secret Project Prometheus, a glimmer of hope began to shine in the eyes of the world leaders. Perhaps they weren't as defenseless as they thought. Meanwhile, across the globe, humanity grappled with the reality of alien invasion. In New York City, people flooded the streets, some in panic, others in defiance. Times Square was a sea of humanity, all eyes fixed on the massive screens displaying the alien ships looming above. In a small town in Kansas, farmers stood in their fields, shotguns in hand, staring up at the sky with a mixture of fear and determination. They might not have advanced weapons, but they had grit and a fierce love for their land. In the bustling markets of Mumbai, vendors continued to hawk their wares, their voices tinged with an edge of hysteria. Life went on, but with an undercurrent of terror that was impossible to ignore. As the 24-hour deadline approached, Earth made its decision. In a globally broadcast address, the UN Secretary General stood before the world, his face a mask of resolve. To the Galactic Council, he began, his voice steady despite the weight of his words. We, the people of Earth, have a message for you. We will not surrender. We will not bow. This is our home, and we will defend it with every fiber of our being. Earth stands united against your tyranny. As soon as the message was sent, Zor Thal ordered the attack. Beams of searing energy lanced down from the alien ships, targeting major cities across the globe. But as the beams neared Earth's atmosphere, something unexpected happened. They stopped. An invisible barrier shimmered into existence, absorbing the alien weapon's energy. In secret bunkers around the world, teams of scientists, led by Dr. Chen, worked feverishly at control panels, fine-tuning Earth's hidden defense system. On the alien command ship, Zor Thal's confident sneer transformed into a look of shock. "Impossible!" he roared. "Their technology shouldn't be capable of this." He ordered another volley, then another, each more powerful than the last. But Earth's shield held firm. In Washington, D.C., the U.S. President received a secure communication. "Mr. President," Dr. Chen's voice crackled over the line, "Project Prometheus is fully operational. We're ready to counterattack on your command." The president took a deep breath. The weight of the world rested on his next words. "Dr. Chen, you have a go. Godspeed." At military bases around the world, pilots scrambled to their aircraft. But these were no ordinary jets. As they took off, the planes shimmered and changed, revealing sleek, advanced spacecraft that had been hidden in plain sight. Earth's secret fleet rose to meet the alien armada, catching them completely off guard. Zorthal watched in disbelief as Earth's ships engaged his forces, matching them technology for technology. "How is this possible?" Vexnar gasped, watching the battle unfold on their view screens. Zorthal had no answer. His perfectly planned invasion was falling apart before his eyes. As the space battle raged, Earth's ground-based defenses sprang to life. Hidden silos opened in deserts and mountains, revealing advanced missile systems that launched salvos of energy weapons at the alien fleet. The tide of battle quickly turned. Earth's forces, though smaller in number, fought with a ferocity that the overconfident alien armada was unprepared for. Human pilots outmaneuvered their alien counterparts, their determination and ingenuity making up for any lack of experience in space combat. After hours of intense fighting, the Galactic Council's invasion force was in tatters. Zorthal, his ship heavily damaged, faced a decision he never thought he'd have to make. "All forces," he commanded, his voice heavy with defeat. "Retreat. Fall back to the rendezvous point." As the alien fleet limped away from Earth, humanity erupted in celebration. In every city, town, and village, people poured into the streets, cheering, crying, and embracing one another. Against all odds, they had stood up to the galaxy's greatest power and emerged victorious. In New York, Dr. Chen stood at the window of her lab, watching the jubilant crowds below. A small smile played on her lips. Earth had surprised the Galactic Council today, but she knew this was just the beginning. The real challenge lay ahead. As if reading her thoughts, her assistant approached. "Dr. Chen, we're receiving a transmission. It's from other alien races. They want to talk." Samantha nodded, her eyes still on the celebration below. "Well then," she said, turning to face a new chapter in human history, "let's introduce ourselves to the galaxy." The Galactic Council had come expecting an easy conquest. Instead, they had awakened a sleeping giant. Earth had announced its presence on the galactic stage in a way that would never be forgotten. The age of Earth's isolation was over, and the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath, waiting to see what this surprising young race would do next. Here, a 1,200-word narrative for Part 2, Earth's Secret Weapon Unveiled, written in third-person style using simple English. The dust had barely settled from Earth's stunning victory when the real work began. In the days following the Galactic Council's failed invasion, the world buzzed with questions. How had humanity, thought to be technologically inferior, managed to repel such an advanced alien force? The answer lay deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a vast underground complex known only to a select few. Here, in the heart of Project Prometheus, Dr. Samantha Chen and her team of brilliant scientists prepared to unveil Earth's secret weapon to the world. World leaders and top military brass from every nation gathered in a high-tech conference room within the facility. The air was thick with anticipation as Dr. Chen stepped up to the podium. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. "What you're about to see will change our understanding of the universe itself." With a nod to her assistant, the lights dimmed, and a holographic display flickered to life in the center of the room. It showed a strange, shimmering crystal, pulsing with an otherworldly energy. "This," Dr. Chen said, "is the quantum core. It's the heart of our defense system and the key to our sudden technological leap." As the assembled leaders murmured in awe, Dr. Chen explained. The quantum core was discovered 15 years ago, deep within an ancient meteor crater. It defied all known laws of physics, tapping into the very fabric of space-time itself. By harnessing the core's energy, Dr. Chen continued, we've been able to develop technologies centuries ahead of where we should be. Our shield system, our advanced spacecraft, our energy weapons, all of it comes from studying and replicating the core's properties. The Russian president leaned forward, his brow furrowed. If this is so powerful, why didn't we use it to stop the aliens sooner? Dr. Chen nodded, having expected this question. The core's energy is immense but unstable. It took us years to learn how to control it safely. Even now, we're only scratching the surface of its potential. As the briefing continued, halfway across the world, another drama was unfolding. In a busy Tokyo research lab, Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka, one of the key scientists on Project Prometheus, was working late. He was so engrossed in his calculations that he didn't notice the shimmer of a cloaking device deactivating behind him. "Dr. Tanaka," a voice hissed, causing the scientist to spin around in shock. There, emerging from thin air, stood an alien being, tall, lithe, with iridescent scales and large, intelligent eyes. Hiroshi stumbled back, reaching for the alarm, but the alien raised its hands in a universal gesture of peace. "Please," it said, its voice translated by a small device on its chest, "I mean you no harm. I am Zaravex of the Galactic Science Academy. I've come to talk about the quantum core." Back in the Prometheus facility, the world leaders were still grappling with the implications of Dr. Chen's revelation. The British Prime Minister spoke up, voicing the concern on everyone's mind. What's to stop the Galactic Council from coming back with an even larger force now that they know about our capabilities? Dr. Chen's expression turned grave. That's why we need to push forward to unlock more of the core's secrets. We're working on something that could change everything, a faster-than-light drive. The room erupted in excited chatter. FTL travel had long been the dream of scientists and science fiction writers alike. If Earth could achieve it, it would level the playing field against the advanced races of the Galactic Council. Meanwhile, in Tokyo, Dr. Tanaka listened in astonishment as Zaravex explained her presence. The Galactic Science Academy, she revealed, was a secret organization of scientists from various alien races. They had long known about objects like the quantum core, which they called cosmic seeds. "These seeds are scattered throughout the galaxy," Zaravex explained. "They're remnants of the universe's creation, containing untold power. Most races that find them destroy themselves before learning to control them. Your people are the first we've seen who might succeed." As this conversation unfolded, Dr. Chen was leading the world leaders on a tour of the Prometheus facility. They passed through labs where scientists worked on seemingly impossible devices, gravity manipulators, teleportation pads, even early prototypes of matter replicators. The tour ended at a massive hangar. As the doors slid open, gasps of awe echoed through the group. There, taking up most of the cavernous space, stood a ship unlike anything they'd ever seen. Sleek, organic in design, it looked less like a spacecraft and more like a living entity. "This," Dr. Chen said with pride, "is the Star Caller. It's our prototype FTL ship, powered by a shard of the quantum core. If our calculations are correct, it could take us to the edges of our galaxy in a matter of weeks." As the leaders marveled at the ship, alarms suddenly blared throughout the facility. Security teams rushed past as a voice came over the intercom. "Dr. Chen, we have a situation. We've detected an unauthorized transmission leaving Earth. Someone's leaking information about the core." In Tokyo, Dr. Tanaka made a split-second decision. Instead of turning Zaravex in, he decided to trust her. "We need to contact Dr. Chen," he said urgently. "If what you're saying is true, Earth needs to know it's not alone out there." Zaravex nodded, pulling out a communication device far more advanced than anything on Earth. "I can get us in touch with her securely, but we must hurry. The Galactic Council will have deteated my presence by now." Back at Prometheus, chaos reigned. Dr. Chen raced to the control room, barking orders to track the source of the leak. Just as they pinpointed the signal coming from Tokyo, a new transmission cut through their communications. "Dr. Chen," Hiroshi's voice came through, tinged with excitement and fear. "I'm here with a representative from the Galactic Science Academy. We have critical information about the quantum core." For a moment, the control room fell silent. Then Dr. Chen made a decision that would alter the course of human history. "Patch them through," she commanded. And get me a secure line to the UN Security Council. I think it's time we introduced ourselves to the larger galactic community. As the connection was established, humans and aliens began their first peaceful dialogue. Zaravek shared the history of the cosmic seeds, warning of their potential dangers, but also offering hope. The Galactic Science Academy, she explained, had been watching Earth's progress with great interest. "Your handling of the core has been impressive," Zaravek said. "We believe humanity might be ready to join a greater coalition of peaceful races to—" As the conversation continued, Dr. Chen's mind raced with the possibilities. Earth's secret weapon had not just been the quantum core, but humanity's ingenuity and adaptability. Now, with new allies and the promise of even greater discoveries, the future looked brighter than ever. Outside the Prometheus facility, the first rays of dawn broke over the mountains. It was a new day for Earth, and humanity's first steps into a larger, more wondrous, and more dangerous galaxy than they had ever imagined. The unveiling of Earth's secret weapon had opened doors to the stars themselves, and there would be no turning back. Here, as a 1,200-word narrative for Part 3, The Tables Turn, written in third-person style using simple English, the revelation of Earth's alliance with the Galactic Science Academy sent shockwaves through the cosmic community. For weeks, the planet buzzed with activity as humanity prepared for its new role on the galactic stage. But in the depths of space, a storm was brewing. Aboard the Galactic Council's Central Command Station, Supreme Commander Zor Thal paced furiously. His defeat at Earth's hands had cost him dearly in prestige and power. Now, reports of Earth's growing alliances with other races pushed him to the brink. "This cannot stand," he snarled to his advisors. "We must crush this upstart world before they become a true threat." But even as Zor Thal plotted his revenge, Earth was not sitting idle. In orbit around the moon, a joint human-alien team worked tirelessly on a massive construction project. The fruit of their labor was the Celestial Sentinel, Earth's first space-based defense platform. Dr. Samantha Chen floated in zero gravity, surveying the nearly completed Sentinel. Beside her, Zaravek of the Galactic Science Academy made final adjustments to the station's quantum core power source. "It's beautiful," Samantha breathed, watching the massive array of energy weapons and shield generators. Zaravek nodded, her iridescent scales shimmering in the reflected sunlight. "And powerful. With this, Earth will be able to detect and intercept threats from across the solar system, but their moment of pride was short-lived. Alarms blared throughout the station, and a holographic display flickered to life before them. It showed a massive fleet of Galactic Council ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the solar system. "They're back," Samantha whispered, her face pale but determined, and in much greater numbers. On Earth, the response was immediate. The newly formed Earth Defense Force mobilized, launching squadrons of advanced fighters developed with alien technology. The Starcaller, Earth's prototype FTL ship, prepared for its first real combat mission. As the Galactic Council fleet approached, they found not a helpless planet, but a world bristling with defenses. The Celestial Sentinel came online, its powerful sensors scanning the incoming armada. Zor Thal, leading the invasion from his flagship, sneered at the humans' preparations. "They think their new toys can save them? Open fire! Crush their defenses!" The space around Earth erupted in a dazzling display of energy weapons and explosions. But this time, Earth was ready. The Celestial Sentinel's shields held firm against the onslaught, while its weapons lashed out, destroying several Council ships in the opening volley. From the Sentinel's command center, Samantha coordinated Earth's defense. "Launch the Starcaller," she ordered. "Let's show them what humanity can really do." The Starcaller shot out from its hidden base on the far side of the moon, its quantum core drive flaring to life. It zipped through the Council fleet, faster than their sensors could track, unleashing precise strikes that crippled key enemy vessels. On the ground, in cities across the globe, humans watched the battle unfold on massive screens. Unlike the fear of the first invasion, now there was a sense of hope, even excitement. This was humanity's chance to prove itself to the galaxy. As the battle raged, something unexpected happened. Ships began appearing at the edges of the combat zone, but they weren't Galactic Council reinforcements. Vessels of various designs representing multiple alien races dropped out of FTL travel. Aboard the Celestial Sentinel, Zara Vex's eyes widened in recognition. "It's the Coalition," she exclaimed. "The free races have come to stand with Earth." The new arrivals wasted no time joining the fray. Their ships, each with technology uniquely adapted to their own species, brought chaos to the Council fleet's orderly formations. Zorthal watched in growing horror as his certain victory crumbled before him. "This is impossible!" he raged. How could these primitive humans have gained such powerful allies so quickly? But the answer was simple. Earth's spirit of cooperation and innovation, combined with their responsible handling of the quantum core, had impressed the galactic community. Where the Council saw only a world to BC, as the battle turned decisively in Earth's favor, Samantha noticed a change in the enemy's tactics. "They're targeting the Starcaller," she realized. "They must think if they can destroy it, they'll cut off our ability to threaten them beyond our solar system." Indeed, a significant portion of the Council fleet had broken off to chase the nimble Earth ship. The Starcaller's pilot, a young hotshot named Jake Martinez, gritted his teeth as he pushed the ship to its limits, weaving through asteroid fields and using planets for gravitational slingshots. "I can't shake them." Jake's voice crackled over the comms. "There's too many!" Samantha's mind raced. They couldn't lose the Starcaller, it was too important for Earth's future. Then an idea struck her. "Jake, set a course for the sun. Full speed. The sun?" Jake's voice was incredulous. "Doc, that's suicide! Trust me," Samantha insisted. "Zara Vex, can you relay the plan to our allies? We'll need precise timing." As the Starcaller streaked towards the sun, a large portion of the Council fleet in hot pursuit, the Coalition forces regrouped. They formed a massive concave formation, like a giant net in space. At the last possible moment, just as the Council ships committed to their chase, the Starcaller's quantum core flared brilliantly. The ship vanished, reappearing instantly on the other side of the sun. The Council ships, unable to adjust in time, flew right into the Coalition's trap. Caught between the intense heat and radiation of the sun and the combined firepower of Earth's allies, Zorthal's prized fleet was decimated. On his flagship, now retreating from the solar system, Zorthal watched the battle recordings in disbelief. "How?" he muttered. "How could they have outmaneuvered us so completely?" The answer came from an unexpected source. His own second-in-command, Vex Nar, stepped forward. "Perhaps, Supreme Commander, we have underestimated these humans. Their adaptability, their willingness to cooperate with other races, it makes them formidable in ways we never anticipated." As the remnants of the Council fleet limped away, Earth erupted in celebration. Fireworks lit up skies around the world and streets filled with joyous crowds. Humanity had not only defended itself, but had proven its worth as a galactic civilization. In the aftermath of the battle, as the Celestial Sentinel became a hub of interspecies cooperation, Dr. Samantha Chen looked out at the stars with new eyes. Earth had turned the tables on its would-be conquerors, transforming from a target into a beacon of hope for free races across the galaxy. "So," Zara Vex asked, joining her at the viewport, "what will Earth do now with its newfound power and influence?" Samantha smiled, her eyes reflecting the starlight. "We'll do what humanity has always done best. We'll explore. We'll learn. And we'll work to build a better future not just for Earth, but for all peaceful races in the galaxy." As news of Earth's victory spread across the cosmos, the balance of power in the galaxy began to shift. The age of the Galactic Council's unchallenged dominion was over. A new era had begun, with Earth and its allies at the forefront of a growing movement for freedom and cooperation among the stars. Here, a 1,200-word narrative for Part 4, Galactic Politics in Turmoil. Written in third-person style using simple English, the shockwaves of Earth's victory rippled across the galaxy, shaking the foundations of long-established power structures. The Galactic Council, once the undisputed ruler of known space, now found itself facing an unprecedented crisis. On Zorthal's homeworld, a planet of gleaming crystal spires and endless cityscapes, an emergency session of the Council was called. Representatives from hundreds of worlds gathered in the vast hall of galaxies, their forms as diverse as the stars themselves. Zorthal stood before them, his once proud posture now slightly stooped under the weight of his failure. "Esteemed colleagues," he began, his voice echoing through the chamber, "we face a threat unlike any in our history. The humans of Earth, once dismissed as primitives, have become a rallying point for dissent across the galaxy." Murmurs rippled through the assembly. A towering tree-like being from the forest world of Arborea raised a branch in question. How could this happen? How could one insignificant world challenge our might? Before Zorthal could answer, another voice cut through the chamber. It belonged to Vex-Nar, Zorthal's former second-in-command. "Perhaps," Vex-Nar said, his eyes glowing with an inner fire, "the question we should be asking is why so many worlds were eager to ally with Earth against us." The hall erupted into chaos as accusations flew. Centuries-old grudges and simmering resentments burst to the surface. The Galactic Council, long presented as a unified front, was fracturing before Zorthal's eyes. Meanwhile, on Earth, a different kind of gathering was taking place. In the newly constructed Harmony Dome, a marvel of human and alien engineering, representatives from Earth and its coalition allies met to discuss the future. Dr. Samantha Chen, now serving as Earth's ambassador to the galactic community, addressed the diverse assembly. "Friends, allies, fellow seekers of peace," she began, her voice calm but filled with passion. "We stand at a crossroads in galactic history. The Galactic Council's power is waning, but the vacuum it leaves could lead to chaos if we're not careful." Zara Vex, the Galactic Science Academy representative, who had become one of Earth's closest allies, nodded in agreement. "We must offer an alternative," she said, her scales shimmering with urgency. "A new way of cooperation between worlds, based on mutual respect and shared knowledge." As the coalition debated their next moves, news arrived from across the galaxy. On dozens of worlds, populations inspired by Earth's example were rising up against their council-appointed rulers. The Galactic Council's tight grip on its member worlds was slipping. Back in the Hall of Galaxies, Zorthal struggled to maintain order, but a new voice rose above the din, silencing the squabbling representatives. It belonged to Kala Zahn, an ancient being from a race of energy creatures rarely seen in council proceedings. For too long, Kala Zahn's voice resonated. "We have ruled through fear and suppression of knowledge. The humans have shown us another way. Perhaps it is time we listened." Zorthal's eyes narrowed. "You suggest we capitulate to these upstarts? Forfeit our power?" "I suggest," Kala Zahn replied calmly, "that we evolve or face extinction." As the council descended once more into heated debate, a small but significant number of representatives quietly slipped away. They had decided to see this new Earth-led coalition for themselves. On Earth, the Harmony Dome was abuzz with activity. Scientists from a dozen worlds worked side by side, sharing knowledge and making breakthroughs at an astonishing pace. The quantum core technology, once Earth's closely guarded secret, was being adapted and improved through collaboration. In one lab, Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka worked alongside a gelatinous being from a water world, developing new applications for the core's energy. "Look," Hiroshi exclaimed, pointing to a holographic display. "If we modulate the core's output like this, we could potentially neutralize weapons without harming organic life." The news of this development spread quickly, catching the attention of war-weary worlds across the galaxy. The promise of an end to destructive conflicts was a powerful lure. As Earth's influence grew, so did the challenges it faced. Not all were happy with the shifting balance of power. On the fringes of known space, opportunistic warlords and criminal syndicates sought to take advantage of the Galactic Council's weakening grip. Reports reached the Harmony Dome of raids on vulnerable worlds, of entire populations being enslaved or displaced. The coalition faced its first true test. Could they protect the innocent without becoming the very thing they fought against? Samantha called an emergency meeting of the coalition leadership. "We can't stand by while these atrocities happen," she said, her face grim. But we also can't become conquerors ourselves. It was Jake Martinez, the young pilot who had once outmaneuvered the Council's fleet, who proposed a solution. What if we formed a rapid response force, he suggested. Not for conquest, but for protection. We could use the Starcaller's tech to reach trouble spots quickly, neutralize threats, and then leave the locals to govern themselves. The idea took hold. Soon, a volunteer force was assembled, made up of beings from dozens of worlds. They called themselves the Stellar Guardians, and their insignia, a shield backdrop with Earth and alien hands clasped in its center, became a symbol of hope across the galaxy. As news of the Guardians' successes spread, more worlds petitioned to join Earth's coalition. The balance of power in the galaxy was shifting rapidly, and the Galactic Council was struggling to adapt. In a desperate bid to maintain control, Zorthal proposed a radical plan to the remaining Council loyalists. "We must strike at the heart of this rebellion," he hissed. "We must destroy Earth, no matter the cost." But even as Zorthal plotted, his support was eroding. Many council members, seeing the way the wind was blowing, began secret negotiations with Earth's coalition. The galaxy held its breath, poised on the brink of either a new era of cooperation or a devastating war that could tear civilizations apart. In the Harmony Dome, Samantha stood at a window, gazing. "Do you ever wonder," Samantha asked softly, "if we've done the right thing? We wanted to protect Earth, but now we're reshaping the entire galaxy." Zara Vex placed a comforting hand on Samantha's shoulder. "The path of progress is never easy," she said. "But look at what we've achieved already. Worlds that have been enemies for millennia are now working together. Knowledge is flowing freely. We're turning away from war and towards innovation." Samantha nodded, drawing strength from her friend's words. "You're right," she said. "We've come too far to turn back now. Whatever challenges lie ahead, we'll face them together." As if in response to her words, an alert chimed softly. A holographic display sprang to life, showing a massive fleet of ships dropping out of FTL travel near Earth's solar system. But these weren't Council warships. They were representatives from 100 worlds, come to join the growing coalition. The galaxy was changing, and at the heart of that change was Earth. No longer a primitive backwater, but a shining example of what could be achieved when beings from different worlds came together in peace and common purpose. As Samantha and Zara Vex moved to greet the new arrivals, both knew that the real challenges and the real opportunities were just beginning. The age of galactic politics in turmoil was giving way to something new, something hopeful, and humanity, against all odds, was leading the way. Here as a 1,200-word narrative for Part 5, Earth's Triumph and New Galactic Order, written in third-person style using simple English, the final confrontation between Earth's coalition and the remnants of the Galactic Council loomed on the horizon. Tensions across the galaxy had reached a breaking point, and everyone knew that the next few days would decide the fate of countless civilizations. In Earth's orbit, the Celestial Sentinel hummed with activity. Dr. Samantha Chen stood at the command center, surrounded by holographic displays showing fleet movements and diplomatic communiques from across the stars. "Status report," she called out, her voice steady despite the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. Jake Martinez, now Admiral of Earth's Defense Fleet, responded quickly. "Our forces are in position, Ambassador. The Stellar Guardians are spread across key systems, ready to respond to any surprise attacks." Zara Vex, her iridescent scales shimmering with nervous energy, added, "We're receiving updates from our allies. More worlds are pledging support by the hour. The Council's grip is slipping fast." Samantha nodded, allowing herself a small smile. But before she could respond, alarms blared throughout the station. A massive fleet had just dropped out of FTL travel at the edge of the solar system. "It's Zorthal," Jake announced, his face grim. "He's brought everything he has left. This is it." As the Council's armada approached, a tense silence fell over Earth and its allies. This was the moment they had prepared for, but the stakes couldn't be higher. Suddenly, a transmission cut through all channels. Zorthal's face appeared on screens across the galaxy, his eyes burning with a mixture of rage and desperation. "People of the galaxy," he began, his voice booming, For millennia, the Galactic Council has maintained order and progress. These humans and their coalition threaten to undo everything we've built. Today, we end this rebellion once and for all. As Zorthal's speech concluded, his fleet opened fire. The space around Earth lit up with energy weapons and explosions. But Earth and its allies were ready. The Celestial Sentinel's shields held firm, its advanced quantum core technology dispersing the enemy fire. Earth's fleet, alongside ships from dozens of allied worlds, moved to engage the Council forces. What followed was the largest space battle in galactic history. Ships of all sizes and designs clashed in a dazzling display of technology and tactics. The Council's numerical advantage was offset by the Coalition's superior technology and the incredible diversity of their fleet. On Earth, billions watched the battle unfold on screens and holographic projections. But unlike during the first invasion, there was no panic. Instead, a sense of determined hope filled the air. Humans and alien refugees alike joined hands, offering support and comfort to each other as their fate was decided in the skies above. As the battle raged, Samantha noticed something odd. "Look at the Council fleet's formation," she said, pointing to a tactical display. "They're leaving gaps, almost like they're inviting us in." Jake's eyes widened in realization. It's a trap. They're trying to draw us in close for some kind of superweapon. Samantha's mind raced. They needed a way to end this quickly, before more lives were lost on both sides. Then, an idea struck her. "Zara Vex," she called out. "Remember that research you were doing on large-scale quantum core interactions?" As the battle reached its peak, Earth's forces executed a complex series of maneuvers, herding the Council fleet into a specific formation. At the same time, Allied ships equipped with quantum core technology moved into precisely calculated positions. Zorthal, watching from his flagship, smiled in triumph. "They're falling for it," he growled. "Prepare the Nova Cannon." But before the Council could spring their trap, Samantha gave the signal. "Now!" In that instant, every Allied ship activated their quantum cores in a synchronized pulse. The resulting energy wave rippled through space, creating a momentary bubble of altered physics. Inside this bubble, the Council ships found their weapons and engines suddenly inoperable. The Nova Cannon, moments from firing, fizzled into harmless light. Taking advantage of the confusion, the Stellar Guardians moved in. Using their non-lethal neutralization technology, they quickly disabled the key systems of the Council's ships. In a matter of minutes, the battle was over. Zorthal's grand fleet hung dead in space, their crew alive but utterly defeated. As the dust settled, Samantha opened a channel to Zorthal's ship. "Supreme Commander," she said, her voice firm but not unkind. "It's over. We ask for your unconditional surrender." For a long moment there was silence. Then Zorthal's voice came through, sounding tired and old. We surrender." Cheers erupted across the Coalition fleet and on planets throughout the galaxy. Earth had not just defended itself, it had ushered in a new era of galactic politics. In the days that followed, representatives from worlds across the galaxy gathered on Earth for a historic summit. In the same Harmony Dome where the Coalition had begun, a new galactic governing body was formed. Unlike the old Council, this new galactic alliance was built on principles of equality, shared knowledge, and mutual defense. Earth, as the catalyst for this change, was offered a leadership role, but Samantha had other ideas. "We didn't fight for dominance," she told the assembled delegates. "We fought for freedom and cooperation. Let this alliance be led not by any one world, but by our shared ideals and goals." Her words were met with thunderous applause. The new galactic alliance would be governed by a rotating council, with decisions made through open debate and democratic vote. As news of these changes spread, worlds that had long chafed under council rule celebrated their newfound freedom. Sciences that had been restricted flourished in the open exchange of ideas. Trade routes once monopolized by council interests now buzzed with ships from 1,000 worlds. But perhaps the most profound change was in how the different species of the galaxy viewed each other. Inspired by Earth's example, there was a new spirit of curiosity and cooperation. Cultural exchanges became common, and it wasn't unusual to see humans working alongside beings from the farthest reaches of the galaxy. 5 years after the final battle, Earth hosted the first Galactic Cultural Festival. The planet that had once been dismissed as a primitive backwater was now a shining beacon of diversity and innovation. As Samantha walked through the festival grounds, marveling at the incredible variety of alien art, cuisine, and performances, she felt a tap on her shoulder. It was Jake, grinning broadly. "Can you believe it?" he asked, gesturing at the joyful crowds around them. "Did you ever imagine it would turn out like this when we first took on the council?" Samantha shook her head, smiling. "Never in my wildest dreams. But that's the beauty of it, isn't it? We've opened up a whole universe of possibilities." As they watched, a group of alien children ran past, laughing as they played with some human kids. In that moment, Samantha knew that all the struggles, all the sacrifices, had been worth it. Earth had not just triumphed over an enemy, it had helped forge a new galactic order. An order based not on fear and domination, but on friendship, respect, and the shared wonder of exploring the cosmos together. As the twin suns of a distant world set on the festival, casting a warm glow over the celebrating crowds, Samantha felt a profound sense of hope. The future, vast and unknown as the galaxy itself, was bright with promise. And humanity, once alone in the cosmic night, now had countless friends to explore it with.